Dead Space 2 is a survival horror game developed by Visceral Games that's brutal and gory, so the squeamish need not apply.
You're in terrible, terrible danger.
Dead Space 2 puts you back into the gravity boots of engineer Isaac Clarke as he journeys through a space colony on Saturn's moon Titan, known as the Sprawl. Fate hasn't been kind to Isaac. After the horrific events of Dead Space aboard the USG Ishimura, he once again finds himself in the middle of another necromorph outbreak. This time around, Isaac will voice his own opinions on the current situation now that he is a fully voiced character. This is a great addition to the story as the voice actor does a great job of bringing this once silent protagonist to life. Dead Space 2's story is a chilling psychological horror with some unexpected twists that will keep you invested and wanting more. The first Dead Space was a bit more subtle when dealing with Isaac's sanity, but this time you realize from the get-go that he is dealing with some inner turmoil that will leave both you and Isaac seeking answers. The story moves at a nice pace with the use of text and audio logs that not only give you some background information about the Sprawl and its inhabitants, but will also keep you immersed in the narrative. While the core mechanics are similar to Dead Space, the tweaks and refinements made by Visceral give the game a more organic and fast-paced feel, while still maintaining that sense of urgency and dread as you fight for survival against seemingly unsurmountable odds. Strategic dismemberment is still the way you defend yourself. Shooting the legs out from under a charging necromorph can save you precious time in the heat of battle, but be careful as even without legs, they can still be dangerous. There's a great selection of weapons in Dead Space 2, such as the javelin gun, new this time around, or old favorites like the line gun. All the weapons have an alternate fire, each of which expands your strategy to more than just dismemberment. The zero-G mechanics from the first game have received a major overhaul. Now, instead of making floating leaps from surface to surface, you have full 360-degree movement, which gives you a good sense of freedom and comes in handy during some spectacular set-piece moments. Another returning feature is the workbench, which will allow you to upgrade any of your weapons or even your suit using power nodes scattered throughout the levels. Then there is the store where you can purchase valuable ammo, new weapons, or suits. Dead Space 2 strikes a great balance between weapons and upgrades that makes you feel empowered and not overpowered. Isaac's suit not only looks good and protects you in battle, but it also comes with two abilities that will help you in combat and puzzle solving. The first ability, Stasis, gives you the power to slow down time for a specific object or horrific monstrosity. The other ability is Kinesis, which allows you to manipulate certain objects in the environment or grab some ammo from a distance. The breadcrumb trail is back as well, but like the first game, straying from the path can be both rewarding and punishing, because on the way to that desperately needed ammo, there may be more than just items waiting for you. Speaking of which, there are some great new enemy types in Dead Space 2, but I won't spoil them for you, so just let me say that they can be a little unsettling, but certainly formidable. And the in-game cutscenes set up some intense scenarios that seem to give you control of Isaac at just the right moments. Everything about Dead Space 2's presentation is top-notch. The attention to detail here is truly stunning. Notes written in blood, messages in an alien language, destroyed scenery, and blood splattered everywhere help to convey that something terrible has happened here. The textures are sharp and crystal clear, and the art style paints a grim picture of a once thriving metropolis. All the animations look incredible considering the numerous possibilities for dismemberment, and everything sounds great. Terrified screams of remaining survivors and the unsettling cries of infants echo through these hallowed halls. The use of light and shadows create a great sense of atmosphere that does an amazing job of keeping you immersed and anxious of what you might find in the darkness. The frame rate, for whatever reason, is capped at 30 frames a second as opposed to 60, but despite that, everything still looks incredibly smooth. There were some complaints in the first game regarding the use of VSync, which made aiming with a mouse or controller difficult, but I can tell you that in Dead Space 2, this is no longer an issue. I will mention, however, that the PC version does lack the use of anti-aliasing, so don't be surprised if you see some jagged edges. Dead Space 2's system requirements aren't particularly demanding, so regardless of some odd design choices, it's going to look and sound great. Dead Space 2's multiplayer pits a team of humans up against a team of necromorphs in 4-on-4 combat. Playing as a necromorph, all you really need to do is kill the humans so that they cannot complete their objectives. The necromorphs get 4 classes to choose from: one of the demon children known as the Pack, the Lurker, a demon baby with projectile-shooting tentacles, the windmill-punching Puker who pukes, and the Spitter. Guess what she does? The necromorphs have some unique abilities such as necrovision that lets them see human players through walls, and it can also retreat back into a nearby vent to choose another class or spawn point, although doing this increases your spawn timer. Playing as the humans is an objective-based fight for survival against an onslaught of necromorphs. The humans aren't without their own abilities, as both stasis and kinesis from the single-player campaign are at your disposal, along with some health kits, a trusty pulse rifle, and what starts out as a limited selection of secondary weapons. Currently, the multiplayer has 5 maps, each with their own unique look and objectives, which usually boils down to opening doors and acquiring items while protecting the carrier to a specific location. All this is built around a progression-based leveling system which has you unlocking new weapons, armor, and some enhanced abilities for each necromorph class with each level. While playing, I had trouble staying connected, sometimes multiple disconnects during one sitting. Also, the voice chat could have been handled better. Both the game's audio and the player chat is set to your speakers, so it is hard to hear other players over not just the game sound, but the other player's sound being picked up by their microphones. The multiplayer can be a satisfying and rewarding experience thanks to the great combat and some brutal necromorph executions. But, in its current state, I don't really see the PC version's multiplayer withstanding the test of time. If you plan on buying the PC version, it should be noted that there's a pronounced bug and some missing content. After you beat the game, you unlock a New Game Plus mode which lets you replay the game with all of your upgrades from your first run. Doing this is supposed to add elite variants of Isaac's suits for you to find, but is shockingly absent in the PC version. I'm hoping that an upcoming patch will correct this, but the only thing I've heard about it has been a Twitter post from the devs stating that they're working on it. Also, the announced DLC which adds some new armor and weapons, and another entitled Severed, which adds 2 chapters to the campaign, will not be coming to the PC version. Other than the one I mentioned, I didn't really run into any other bugs, game-breaking or otherwise. Despite its shortcomings, the PC version still has an amazing campaign and a pretty decent online mode. Dead Space 2 for the PC gets a B.